film discussing our national education budget. Where does our money really go?
How much of the national budget do you think is spent on education?
40%?
Oh, big number. 40%. How about you? What did you think?
I'd say maybe like 35%.
So how much was actually spent on education?
Out of our national budget, only 3% goes towards education.
Only 3%? Maybe our interviewees were closer on our next question.
How much do you think is spent on K-12 students each year in California?
You know, I just read about that and I cannot remember, but I think it was around 20,000.
20,000? Okay, perfect.
Definitely lower than 10,000, but
Maybe
higher than 1,000.
Okay.
Somewhere in between there, probably
Perfect.
5,000.
Tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. So, like more than 20,000? Or less?
I'll say about 20,000.
About 20,000. Okay.
Wow, that's a ton of cash. Were they right?
Each year in California, we spend $8,482 per student. Compare this to the District of Columbia, where they spend $18,667 on each student, more than twice the amount we spend.
Money needs to come from somewhere. Could we cut it from something else?
Where do you think we could cut from in the national budget to provide more funding for education?
I'm going to kick myself in the ass for saying this, but military. I believe strongly in the military, but with the way that the military does spend, it's bullcrap.
Military.
Out of the paychecks of the politicians, for sure.
Politicians' paychecks.
Probably prison and a couple other industries that I can't think of what their official name would be.
Prisons.
We can't always just cut our way through problems. How did people feel about new taxes?
Would you support creating or increasing existing taxes to further fund education?
Do you support then increasing or creating new taxes to provide more money towards education for our youth?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the money I feel doesn't go to them because it goes to administrative officials, and they already get paid enough, but
Okay.
if there was a balance of like a cap maybe of how much they can get paid so it's not such an egregious amount they get paid.
Okay, perfect.
Well, that's one. Anybody else? That's it.
I have a minimum, if you're going to minimum wages, why taxes more? Because, you know, my dollar cheeseburger costs $1.19 now. It's not $1.07.
It costs $1.62.
No, I'm talking about McDouble. You feel me?
Exactly.
Exactly. Tax me, it's $1.07. So I was, you know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna bust up our minimum wage as we get paid, why make us pay more on tax? You don't just keep it the same if you're gonna do that.
So then,
On increasing taxes, 50% said yes, 40% said no, and 10% were undecided.
Have you ever personally felt the impact of a low education budget?
Yeah,
how would
Yeah.
you say that you felt that?
I've gone to very shitty schools.
All right.
And let's just say half my peers don't know how to read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Perfect.
I did. I went public school K through 12, and at times it hurt because we had science books that were 10, 15 years out of date.
Yeah, and I heard you mentioning earlier too about having parents pay for paper and pencils. I mean, that's already something that they should.
My family has always been under poverty line. My family has always been, no matter how it's been. I've had divorced family since I was 7.
Yeah. So it's difficult, and I think it's a stress or a burden put on parents that really should be covered by the national education budget, right?
If we had a higher education budget, we could bring back and expand sports programs.
Provide supplies and textbooks for each student.
Expand the arts program.
Ready? Hand it down over. Field
trip! With more education funding, more students will be able to graduate and move on to college.